Reject AI, become the Renaissance man. In this video, I'm going to talk about what does it really mean to become a Renaissance man, how and why it works, why everyone should do it to some extent, and why it might become even more valuable in the future, in the age of AI. You probably saw this type of content online, that the only niche is you, that AI will replace you in a couple of months or years. It's mutating whatever the fuck is going on, and you either stop giving a fuck or you're overwhelmed with all of that and you didn't find an answer. And I feel you, I was a programmer, and as a freshman in the company that I was hired because of the aftermath of COVID and because of AI, there were cuts in the company, so I got fired from that place. And I could make a choice to look for another programming job, or I can change my approach and do something else. And so it's not going to be this is the best way type of video, or I promise you, I know for sure. And I'm just sharing my thoughts here, but not only thoughts, it's something that I'm actually doing, actually embracing. It's the logic that I'm following and basing my life on, so I hope it's correct. Let's look at these two gentlemen, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. You probably know them, and what's interesting is that Joe Rogan is the biggest podcaster in the world, I think, or one of the biggest podcasters, but he's not only focused on building a podcast. He's also doing comedy, UFC commentary, hunting, he's doing a lot of stuff. The same shit is true for Elon Musk. And he is one of the richest people, if not the richest man on the planet, whilst not being focused just on the most money. He's focused on a lot of stuff and he's doing a lot of fucking things. So they are doing a lot of various stuff, and the results take care of themselves because they are just focused on doing all of these different things. I will explain how I think it works in practice in a second, but what I mean with this for now is that doing one thing is dead and will be more and more visible as AI will expand. You might say that, bro, but being an athlete will never be dead, or there still is someone needed to control AI. And for this, there's probably some 4-year-old that is already training with his father because he didn't make it and he wants his son to make it. And there's some guy that went through 20 years of training and will just be better than you. When it comes to this, there's probably some actually autistic guy that can sit in front of the computer screen for 15 hours a day and you will not be able to replace him either. And in any given thing that is like basic, and the less complex the thing is, there's probably a Chinese kid that is 3 years old and is already better than you doing that thing. I'm kidding, but there probably is that kind of Chinese kid. And the solution for that is being yourself. But I don't mean it in a way that your mother told you, that you should just be yourself and everything will work out for you with girls. Just be yourself, son. For that, you have to understand what being you actually means. Because you is a sum of your personality, values, beliefs, interests, your skills, intelligences that you have, and the amount of intelligence points in each of these, like emotional, logical, kinesthetic weaknesses. Because if you are the strongest guy with some weaknesses, that's also your market edge, your experience, etc. So let me give you an example. You're a copywriter and this is your main thing that you're doing. So if you would only focus on marketing and writing, which feels like, okay, these are the main things that I should focus on, right? And just do this and become better in doing this. But then you compete with tens of thousands of other copywriters that are also doing that stuff. Plus, it's less complex, so it will be easier in the future to be replaced by AI. And if you, for example, add medical knowledge to that, now your competition is a lot smaller and it's just easier for you to differentiate yourself on a market, plus harder to replace you with AI. If you will add, for example, technology to that, now there's even less competition. And maybe you are having a baby and there are only a couple of companies that create technological advancements to bring medical tools for babies, and they need someone to market that for them. So there may be 2 guys on a planet that have all of these skills combined. But it doesn't mean that you have to close yourself to now becoming jack of all trades, because You will be master of none that way. And I will explain how to do it in a smart way, what I think is the smart way to do this. But first, let's get to the advantages that this approach gives you. Authenticity creates the effect that you have no competition. Passion, so just doing something out of enthusiasm of doing it, creates more drive and you just work harder. Once again, competitive advantage. Multiple interests, easier to differentiate yourself. Now there is an ADHD way to do that. So you're just interested in something and do some random shit just comes to your mind any given day, or you can do it the smart way. Because this is just being a jack of all trades and master of none. But if you will do it the smart way, following Leonardo da Vinci's quote that everything is interconnected, you can choose skills that complement each other. And if you work on this skill, and you drop it, and then you work on this skill and you drop it, also improves this. Working on this also improves this, etc. How do I do this? Pitch of my course, Renaissance of Productivity, but it's a perfect example to show how it can work in practice. So there's a storyline. I don't know one productivity course on the planet that has a storyline of modern day Leonardo, and there are animations, and it's funny and entertaining and also educational. So it's goofy, stupid, entertaining, it's fun to watch, and you also learn watching it. It follows my experience, which you cannot replicate. Whilst doing it, I had to learn animations, video editing, add some humor, learn some writing, marketing, storytelling, and combining all of this create the so-called Medici effect. So phenomenon where breakthrough ideas and innovation happen when people combine insights from different fields, disciplines and cultures. And by exploring diverse interests, connection emerge over time, leading to higher level thinking and creativity. So as a result, this product is one of a kind on the market. Some people might like it, some people might love it, some people might hate it, but still it's a lot better than creating just a generic course about productivity, which you can find thousands on a market on YouTube. And this, in summary, leads to more innovation. And there's no better thing than innovation in era of AI, where doing the one thing can be easily replaced. Innovation will be more and more valuable with time. Another way to understand that, I will give you a League of Legends example, because I was a League of Legends player. So another thing that differentiates me, that I was a loser. In League of Legends, you have different lanes: top lane, mid lane, bot lane, jungle. So these are like roles that you can play. In this example, let's say that being a mid laner means being a copywriter. There are a lot of champions that you can use and play in League of Legends. So let's say that each champion is each skill that you will have. And there's something like meta. And meta in video games, online video games, but also in real life, it's the most effective tactic available to follow. So the thing that if you will do, it will bring you the most results. So for some time, the copywriting might be the meta. For some time, being a YouTuber might be a meta. Then rappers are very popular, and being a rapper is the best thing. But if you will follow this logic, you will be jack of all trades and master of none. So what you would do in League of Legends would be to stick to one lane, but play different champions. Because maybe now the meta is to play mages. Then the meta will be to play fucking assassin. Then the meta will be to play tanksmith. You never know what future will bring, but if you will just have these tools in your pocket, when the meta for tanks, for example mid, comes, you're just ready to use it. And it's not like you cannot play mid lane because you're playing this all the time. It's not like you cannot go back to playing assassins or mages, but you also can play tanks because you just pick this skill at some moment, and now when the meta came, you can use it for your advantage. In other words, adapt, but don't conform. Because if now conform to playing only tanks, the meta for tanks dies and you're once again fucked. How to do all of that in practice? How to choose your skills, how to become more of yourself, how to play the game better. There is MBTI 16 personalities quiz that you can do, and I did this years ago. I am an INFJ. There's also an Enneagram personality test that you can do. I am an 5W4, I think. By doing this, you will just find these for yourself, and by focusing on these, if you will just invest in being the best you that you can be, you saved your future, because there cannot be a second you. You are irreplaceable, and as with Elon Musk, there cannot be a second Elon Musk. It doesn't mean that you now have to reach their level of status, success, and wealth. What it just means is to become unique and will be more and more valuable in the age of AI. Other than that, there's a free product called Vinci's Code of Masculinity, in which you can take a test and find out about 4 archetypes: king, warrior, magician, and lover, that are parts of your psyche. Everyone as a man have these 4 inside of him. If you will understand them better, you will understand who you are as a person. If you want to go through your own renaissance, first link in the description. If you want to keep watching and learning, watch this video that pops on the screen right now, and to be continued.